Hello everyone and welcome back to another weekly poker showdown brought to you by Party Poker. I'm your host Jamie Staples, and this week we have Kristen Bicknell on the podcast. Had an amazing conversation with her. She is number 1 ranked female player on the GPI ranking right now, number 7 in the world. She's coming off a win of a $25,000 buy-in event at the, I think, Global Poker Master. Yeah, the Poker Masters 25K event for $400,000. So incredibly accomplished player. Amazing to pick her brain about sort of her origins in poker, how she got started, some of the things she learned along the way, and then also some tips, because she's really into fitness and health as well. So some tips in these times where a lot of the world is quarantined or social distancing or staying at home, how we can stay fit and healthy during these times when we're playing sessions of online poker and just living our life away from other people. So it's a great conversation, but before we get to that, let's get into some of the online poker news from this past week. Starting with PowerFest action, we have the largest payout of the series so far. Top prize of $267,140 was paid out in event number 70, a super high roller. Little Russia was the winner of that prize, so congratulations on over $250,000 there. Little Russia bet Punchline and Bada, who also got heads up for $193,000 in the second place finish, while Fedor_Holes finished fourth for $98,676. Total of 308 players entered the event. The main event takes place this Sunday. Make sure you get in there. Next up on Party Poker, we have the cash game leaderboards going on. Party Poker is approaching the target of $1 million in payouts for March. Belarusian Equalizer banked the top prize for $500 from the 2 cent, 5 cent No Limit Hold'em leaderboard. He said, "I had the goal of finishing in the number 1 spot. Any other result would not have been good enough for me. Started grinding from the first day to try and create a big gap between myself and my opponents. I guess you could say it all worked out." Indeed, it did, my friend. Congratulations on winning that leaderboard. It's the grind in the time of Corona. It's a book joke. It's unprecedented, right? And I just have to say, before we get into live poker news, like, it's really weird as a content creator making Twitch streams and podcasts and YouTube videos to talk about things so nonchalantly when obviously the world is in such a state. So I hope you guys understand that, like, I do recognize what's going on in the world. And I'm here for you. If you need someone to talk to, you can always get at me on Twitter at Jamie Staples, because I know this is not only physically dangerous, but also emotionally and mentally, like, taking a toll on all of us. But nonetheless, I think it's good to escape. And poker is my life. It's my profession. But I know for a lot of you, it's your hobby, and it's what you do to get away from the worries of the world. So I just wanted to preface and say that I'm thinking of all of you. I'm hoping for the best. You can always get at me on Twitter if you want to talk to someone and you need to, get some worries off your chest, or in Discord as well. And yeah, so we're going to talk about the live poker news. The Irish Open online schedule series has been confirmed, which of course has been added to Party Poker. It'll be played online this year, in that it obviously cannot be played live at the moment. The series is going to run from April 6th until April 12th after the decision was made to move it online. The windfall of $2.7 million in guarantees is being offered. A total of 22 events held across 7 days, with buy-ins ranging from €162 to €5,200. The main event will run on the last day, offering a guarantee of €1 million with a buy-in of €1,100. I'm really excited. I'm going to be playing this. Can't wait. 4-day ones taking place from Wednesday, April 8th to Saturday, April 11th, and day 2 running on the Saturday before the winner is crowned on the Sunday. Party Poker is partnering with Poker Central to create the Poker Masters online series. This is going to be some incredible viewing, a little bit out of my stakes, but I can't wait to watch. So, $15.2 million in guarantees for this event. Poker Masters Online is 30 high roller events taking place from Sunday, April 12th to Sunday, April 26th. The buy-ins range from $10,300, that's the low end, up to $51,000 on the high end. So some incredible high stakes action coming up. Can't wait to rail some of that on Twitch. The final to the series will pay out a guaranteed €2 million. Pounds? Euros. One or the other. It's a lot. I think we get the picture. Let's move on to the industry news now. British player has won the biggest GG Masters tournament this week. Congratulations to Ryan Get Punted Plant, who won $60,753 off a buy-in of $150. That is awesome. GG has increased the tournament guarantee by $100,000 to $400K, which was met after 3,051 entries. So good things there. Congratulations, guys. Plant beats Austria's Dan Oss heads up. Dan Oss won $42,958. Zas Bartek won the 888 Poker Superstorm as well. Top prize for the Russian was $112. $112,234. Raised one in of Lithuania came second place for $80,164. Competition's been running for several weeks and concluded on Sunday. The prize pool was $1 million. Some more PowerFest news here. We have Team Party Poker's Johnny Jokiminen. I really didn't say that. Yanni, please, someone help me. How do I say this name? Please send me something on Twitter and send me a video and tell me how do I say Johnny's name. Won the PowerFest 42 Super High Roller, 100K guaranteed PLO 6 max. J. John K beat Robbery 9999 in a heads-up clash to claim a $92,000 first place prize. Came close to cashing again on Sunday in the 70 Super High Roller. Sam Trickett got 38th place. Jason Kuhn got 11th place for $20,809. Did manage to cash as well. Team Party Poker secured a 1-2 finish at event 73 High Roller with Anatoly Filatov and El Prophet, a guy that we've had on this podcast before, and Renato Nomura topped a field of 328 players. That's amazing. I didn't know that till just now. What an amazing heads up. That's great. More than $7 million has been awarded to Party Poker players on Sunday, the 22nd of March. Pretty legit. That's it for the online and live poker news at the moment. So we're going to get into this interview with Kristen Bicknell, two-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner, #1 GPI female ranked player right now, 7 in all of the GPI, and just seems to be such a great person. I've talked with her 2 times, introduced myself in the Bahamas, and she was so gracious and kind and took time to say hi and meet me. And then here, having this conversation today, in the midst of a Power Fest with a full session. She woke up early in Canada to fit into my schedule and recorded it. So I really appreciate that. And I think you'll join me in saying I think she's an awesome ambassador for the game. So without further ado, Kristen Bicknell. Joining me on the podcast today, I have Kristen Bicknell. Kristen, thanks so much for taking the time today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So I usually start, because I love poker origin stories. It gets me back into the feeling of when you first start poker, everything's so exciting and so new. So what is your poker origin story? How do you find yourself playing in the World Series of Poker with 2 bracelets, by the way? Like how did you get there from finding out about the game?
Sure. I was in university and a couple friends one night were like, let's play poker. And I had no idea what it was. Said, okay, fine, I'll try. And that was like, I don't know, maybe 7 p.m. or something. And then we got so competitive, that group of friends with poker. And I think that game lasted until like noon the next day when we had to go to class.
Your first game ever?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
My goodness. Wow.
It was, I remember there was a group of us and it was like, there was a couple guys specifically who were so competitive with each other. Like we would fight about the rules or like what's right and wrong, and it was really heated, and we were playing for like $10 or something.
Right.
And then so we had these little home games, and I was living in Ottawa, Ontario at the time, and I would try to find, there was other little home games. There was like 2 or 3 groups of, these people who organized poker tournaments that were like $25, $50. I can't remember what the biggest one was, but I definitely remember that there was one, big local tournament. We had no poker rooms around there at the time, so people would host little home games, and then there was also private games, underground games that did cash games. And found out about one of those. So we played, I think, like 1-2 and 2-5, and somehow kind of built up a bankroll from, I guess, a combination of that and then finding online. And I remember the thing that really got me going with tournaments was played like a $3 rebuy to the Sunday Million.
Right.
And I can't remember how many times I had to rebuy into that tournament, but I remember winning a seat and like hitting a 2-outer to win the seat, and then playing the Sunday Million on that Sunday. And I remember trying to explain to my parents, I was like, look, like I could actually win. I forget what first place was at the time, like a few $100,000 or something. And, I remember my dad being in disbelief, and he's like, no, that's not real. That's not real. And I ended up finishing 6th or 7th for, I can't remember the amount of it right now, but maybe 30 or 40,000. And when the check came and they were like, oh, wow, that's real. And it kind of like sparked the whole thing from there. And yeah, a lot of memories of at the time, just, finding poker books. And I remember, I'm trying to think of what book it was, but I remember I had a poker book and I was playing, like, I found a poker room that I could play at. I was 18 years old, like an Indian reservation place. And in the poker book, I'd put my result. For some reason, I guess I didn't have a piece of paper somewhere else, but every night I would put how I did at this like 1-2 game and 2-5 game that I played for the first summer between university and like between my first year and second year. And yeah, just kind of, I was fortunate to run above EV at the beginning and kind of took off from there.
There's a few things you said in that story that, like, for me were just huge nostalgia rushes. The first was the check, because that's also how I got paid, was like, send me a check, please. And that, I mean, that is so nice when you open up the mail to show mom and dad, like, here's my check, like, I'm okay, trust me.
How old were you when that happened?
Yeah, 18, 19 is when I started as well.
And it's a time, when that kind of money is really big to you, and then seeing it in that form. And I remember every time I cashed out a check, I was like, this is so cool, that I got this money from playing poker. And I remember, like, those first few years, I was like, oh, I want to pay for like a computer monitor, or like a, furniture in my apartment. And then cashing out from PokerStars, it just felt like really cool doing that.
Absolutely. And the 3 rebuy is the second nostalgia. Like, the 3 rebuys that was the dream starter, that tournament.
Right?
For almost everyone. Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, it really was. It felt, I was one tabling the tournament, and I think my sister, my dad, they were watching and screaming. And I remember, like, I'll still remember, like, hitting a 2-outer in the Sunday Million. I don't know, I had like 6s versus queens or something, all in pre-flop. And I remember, like, my sister and dad going insane. We were all railing it. It was so fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Great times. So from there, starting out online, starting to play some of the live private games and stuff like that. Just recently, you won a $25,000 Poker Masters for $400,000. Currently ranked number 7 on the GPI globally right now, and number 1 for women as well. So, I mean, safe to say you're at the absolute peak of the game. So what happened from there, being sort of an everyday normal poker player, to becoming elite? Like, how did you traverse those waters?
Yeah, it's kind of surreal, and when we look at it, I think it's been like 13 or 14 years. So,
right.
Which has flown by. But I think it's funny because it's hard to think of where I came from where I'm at now. But it just felt like, the grind has been long, and it was one step at a time. I guess, transitioning from playing 1-2 online to 2-5 and 5-10 live. And then I remember kind of building up a bankroll with that. And then I was lucky enough to win the ladies event, which definitely helped financially. Where that was kind of the thing of, like, every summer I went to the World Series. I only played a few tournaments. I remember trying to satellite to the main event and having some disappointing satellite adventures there. But I literally direct bubbled one of those mega satellites, and I think I haven't cried that much from poker, but I did cry that day. There was like 40 seats or something, and then when you bust, the whole room explodes because they're all happy.
Yeah.
It was terrible. Yeah. Anyways, that was, I guess, how old was I there? 22, 23. Anyways, winning that tournament, they kind of allowed me to, I guess, move up stakes. And yeah, just kind of one thing led to another. I don't really know how it all happened, to be fair. It
just like a consistent building on each year after year, and it's to there. Is that fair?
Yeah, exactly. And then it was, I was playing cash games. Also, a couple years later, was fortunate enough again to have a good World Series where I won the other tournament, and that definitely, I forget how much I won for that, but I remember it really helping me financially at the time, and also kind of gave me that tournament bug where I was like, oh, I kind of really enjoy playing tournaments.
Right.
shifted my focus there. And yeah, I've been lucky that I had like supportive friends who, you know, were willing to buy action of tournaments and things like that to help me move up. And yeah, here I am.
That's so awesome. I love to hear
Yeah.
it. So the big breakthroughs seem like, I mean, the bracelets obviously are. It's like the. I mean, I feel like to the non poker grinding public, like a bracelet, you're always in the club. Like you're always an accomplished poker pro. So
Sure.
that's got to be amazing. But what about the other side on your progression? Was there any sort of like big letbacks that put a stop in your journey, or things you really had to learn to continue progressing?
Sure. I mean, it's always a struggle. I feel like, you know, even this week, you know, the mental game aspect, or sorry, like the mental aspect of the game, um, you know, being disciplined is like constantly a struggle, I think. And whether that might be like 2 days ago, something that's like a big achievement for me, I would say, is recognizing, or it was Monday, because I remember playing a long session on Sunday, and then Monday came, and I had some day twos, and there was like a 5K on stars that I was planning to play, and then I kind of realized, like, you know what, I don't feel that great to play today. Like,
Mm.
if I go deep, I don't think at 10 p.m. I'm going to be playing really well. So I decided not to play, which is something I don't think I've ever done in my poker career. um, I would say what stands out when you ask me that question is going back to when I was grinding like 510 the Bellagio. I
Mm.
had probably over a few times that I played like 35-hour sessions or something like that,
Right.
which was really stupid, like very, very stupid. And um, that kind of, you know, booking losses, kind of learning and being aware of I'm not playing very well, go to sleep and start again
Right.
another day. That's something I really struggled with. I did that, especially when I played cash games. I was grinding Supernova Elite, like playing cash online, and I remember doing the same thing, playing like 48 hours multiple times, also live. So these sessions are really draining. There's like a good side to it, you know, like my work ethic is really high. I'm really competitive, wanted to do well, wanted to achieve, but that's not the way to do that. And
Right.
it definitely took me multiple times of learning, like, okay, you know, this isn't the way to do it. And I'm still constantly learning that, still constantly trying to figure out, like, you know, I can't play every single day of my life. And so right now I'm kind of focusing on like quality over quantity.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other big moments that I've had.
I find that psychology so interesting. Just before I forget, because I don't
Yeah,
think it's one that like non poker pros have, and to be honest, I don't have it. Like I've never considered putting in a session longer than like 18 hours. At that, I'm just like
yeah,
I'm just gonna sleep and then drive back tomorrow and play again. Like it
yeah.
never. So I almost I wish I could get inside your brain and inside the brains of other poker pros that put in these huge sessions sometimes, because I don't get the desire. Like, is it just so much fun? Like you don't want to sleep or
It's a good question. I think it's I don't know if it comes from like a being very competitive or not wanting to lose in some way.
mm,
And, you know, I'm definitely a perfectionist, so maybe it ties in with something like that. Um, Wanting a pretty graph, or I don't know. I just remember it. I'd always, you know, end up like battling with someone at the table, and I'm like, oh, I want to get my money back from them, or I want to battle with them. There was definitely times when, especially in cash games live, like there is a big element of it being fun. You know, there's like a
mm,
dynamic that happens. You know, maybe someone two outed you in a huge pot or something, and then, you know, you have all these like fun hands, and whatever happens, I tend to be pretty social at the table. So there was definitely sessions that were just actually fun where I wouldn't want to walk away. But yeah, it is an interesting thing that a few of us have. But I would say you're lucky that you don't, honestly.
So how about today? Like, how much is your time is split between playing online? You know, like the Power Fest we have going on right now. I know. Well, and coronavirus, obviously, like most people are
Yeah.
at home spending time online. But let's pretend the world was normal again. What is your time split between live tournaments, live cash games, and online?
Sure. Lately, I haven't been able to play cash very much, mainly just because there's not that much time. I would say that in the last couple of years, I feel like it's probably something like 70% live, 30% online, or something like that. I kind of play whenever I can, but it seems like there's always a poker stop to go to. So, I've kind of been focusing on live tournaments and, picking. This year, I was planning to pick the stops that I really wanted to go to, um, and then be home a little bit before that, or between those stops, and then play online then. But often, I'll be traveling and playing online from, if I'm in a country that I can, I'll do that. But right now, it looks like it's online for the next couple months, I guess.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I want to
Yeah.
ask you some questions about like practical fitness and health advice because I know that's something you are passionate about.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, the UK where I'm currently in Edinburgh. We just locked down the other day. We're going to be locked down for a while. You know, Spain and Italy and France effectively are in lockdown, and I think it's spreading to a lot more of the world. So these are unprecedented times in terms of being secluded and being indoors away from other people. So
Yeah.
what's your advice when you're spending a lot of time inside and you want to stay active and healthy when it comes to the sort of food that you're consuming and also trying to get exercise in that confined space?
Yeah, okay. This is something I could talk for hours about, so I'll try to break it down somewhat briefly. I think first off, I would say like the food aspect is huge, especially like just for so many different reasons. Like if you're trying to stay healthy, if you're trying to play good poker, um, if you're trying to get your brain to function at the best level. I would say that especially because most likely we're all going to be like a little less active. I think food is even more important because you probably can't get away with what, like for myself, usually I like weight lift a few times a week. Um, and I guess like kind of heavyish towards my body weight. So I think that for me, like I can already feel it already. I can feel my metabolism slowing down. Like I'm not as
Mm,
hungry. I don't want as much food. So like trying to listen to your body and not overeat. And I am also a huge fan of like intermittent fasting, bulletproof coffee.
right.
I think for me, even yesterday I had this because I had a really long session, and it's like, when do I eat? Because I don't like eating before poker. I find that I play really well just like with caffeine, so like black coffee, water, um, and maybe like some supplements of some sorts. And then I usually like to wait until I'm finished to eat, or if I'm going to eat, I'll just eat like protein.
Right.
I won't have any carbs during a session. Um, and I find, I don't know if you've experimented with that at all.
I have. I
Uh,
feel the same actually. I like not eating
yeah,
before a session, but it seems really hard to do online because it's just, you
exactly.
know, it's
Yeah.
hard.
And then on the other hand, it's like you have 5 minutes. So it's like, what do you grab? Yesterday, I ended up like trying to cook dinner and play at the same time. And it was just kind of annoying. I definitely, yeah, screwed up poker a little bit because I was cooking, but it was like midnight and I was starving. So yeah, so I would say diet is huge, and finding what works for you. I don't think that one diet fits everybody. So I tend to fast. I don't really count. Like I'm not super picky with like the timing. I would say maybe 16 hours or something like that.
Right.
Like do like 16-8. Sometimes it's one meal a day. Sometimes I break that depending on how I feel. So I'm not super strict. Um, but that works for me. I feel like I've talked to other poker players. I know like Alex really likes fasting as well. We've definitely done like 2 days fast, things like that. And both of us have said like, the cognitive benefits of that are huge. So I think that's something interesting to play with. But yeah, diet is like huge. So really trying to like, even if just on a simple level, like eliminate sugar. not eating desserts and stuff, which is hard because it's comfort food, which probably we're all craving a little bit.
Right.
So if you are going to that, like picking healthier options, because there's so many good recipes you can make, like with whatever coconut flour and things like that. What are some other staples that I have? I don't know. Even like granola with like dark chocolate is really yummy. Like just training, and I think like depending on how you eat, like shifting yourself to eat like the healthier options of that. Like, say you eat milk chocolate, like if you can progressively get into like dark chocolate, like I personally eat like the 95% lint, and I love it. Like to me it tastes really good, but I understand like when I first tried it years ago, it didn't taste that good. So you kind of have to change your palate a little bit.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so that's nutrition stuff. And then for now, when you guys are on lockdown, can you go outside for walks, or what is the...
Well, in the UK we can. I think in a lot of the world at the moment you can't, but here in the UK we get one outdoor exercise a day. I actually have a home gym as well, which I'm super lucky. I invested in that in November, so I got like a weight rack and stuff. Yeah. But there's a lot of people out there that don't have that. So what would you advise for them, like at home body weight stuff?
Yeah, that's kind of what, to be honest, it's kind of what I'm figuring out for myself. We were just looking online to try to get like some of like the dumbbells that you can do adjustable weights or whatever, because I'm just in like an apartment, so I don't have room to kind of do a gym here. But oh my God, there's so many videos like on YouTube, and I feel like if you follow any health people on Twitter, YouTube, whatever it might be, everyone's posting videos of body weight workouts and stuff. So I think that the key is just making it a habit. And for some reason, like I go to the gym really regularly. I like it. It's not hard for me, but doing a workout at home is kind of challenging for some reason. Like the motivation, or it just feels weird, or it's just like, I feel sluggish. I don't know. It's strange. So I think just making it a habit and finding like, maybe you want to find like a video routine, or there's websites that have certain like programs to follow. So I think that that's really helpful, is having a guideline of, okay, like, I used to go to the gym and do deadlifts and stuff, but okay, now what am I doing? And like, I know Alex found some like body weight program. So then he just has his workout right there and you just go through it and just manage it. But I think habit, like just waking up, getting your workout in. And yeah, there's just so many options that you can do. And like, I've definitely done some home workouts that have been pretty decent in the last couple of days. So it's doable. And especially like if you have the room to, do like a home gym setup, that's amazing. So
absolutely. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. So, I got lucky. Our garage is empty, so I've been using the garage.
That's awesome. I'm jealous.
I find it actually hard here in Europe, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that are similar with time zone, because I find similar to food that like exercise from a streaming perspective for me really wears me out before my session. So I tend to want to exercise after, when I have, so that I've used my energy for my show. But then after, it's difficult because you are raising your metabolism and your height before you're supposed to be going to sleep. So it's a really weird balance with the poker schedule in Europe. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Especially in Europe. Yeah, I don't think working out at night is very good. Unfortunately, because I've been in that spot too, where like, maybe I've busted a tournament or I'm done. Even like at 8 p.m., I don't really like working out. Especially, I really like pre-workouts, which have caffeine in them and things like that. So that doesn't work either.
Yeah.
That's like probably my other tip for working out. It really gets you through a workout. Like pre-workout gives you energy. Yeah, I definitely. I mean, I could recommend some if anybody wants any recommendations. But I really, pre-workout is a must, or caffeine. That's tough for you. I would say, what kind of workouts are you doing?
Right now, I'm doing mostly just consistent low intensity cardio every day, and then I'm just hitting the weight rack, so like just moving around my body, doing different body parts, legs, push, pull, back, arms.
From all like any knowledge that I've had is from just watching podcasts or reading, I've heard a lot that and I've experienced this too, I don't like cardio before poker. It almost like it's kind of, I think you were getting at that.
Yeah.
So I would say maybe if you're going to work out before you play, I don't know if you've done like HIIT workouts, but even like 10 minutes.
I haven't done much high intensity stuff before, to be honest. It's almost all been like low intensity just from the weight bets that I did.
Okay.
You know, I would do like 3-4 hours of low intensity cardio as opposed to like 30 minutes of high intensity.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, I just found it easier because I got to explore like the countries that I was in at the time, and it made it bearable, basically.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool if you're getting outside doing that. I never thought about that.
It's not possible in the current climate, though, so it's a very different thing.
Wow. Well, yeah, I think for me personally, I feel good when I lift weights before poker. So I'm not a big cardio person at all.
Right.
But I definitely know that if I do cardio, I'll do like a 10-minute HIIT thing or something at the end of like a weight training session. And I usually feel pretty good before poker. But yeah, I definitely don't. It's tough for you guys with your time zone. And I definitely don't think that it helps to kind of the circadian rhythms like are real.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
It's
right. So we're not
problem.
supposed to be up till 3 a.m. anyways, or whatever time it is for you. And I think that you would just like it's making it even worse to try to like work out late at night. So I think that, yeah, you probably just have to try to do it before even, you know. Yeah.
It's an interesting idea to do weightlifting before and like a bit of low intensity cardio after. That's an interesting, I haven't tried that before, and perhaps that would work. I want to pick your brain on live poker, because looking at your Hendon Mob, you go all over the place. Like there's so many poker stops you go to in a year, and it's hard. Like you're sleeping on different beds, your circadian rhythm is all over the place. You're playing these high stakes 10K, 25K buy-ins against, you know, these legends of the game. How do you stay healthy and mentally sharp and fit when you're moving around so much and throwing your sleep out of whack and all that? Like, do you have any strategies?
Well, I think the fasting thing, I definitely, especially if I want to feel good when I land, I try not to eat on the plane. I think that really makes a difference. And I think it's, it definitely makes a huge difference. It's just fasting those days. And it's hard because you get into an airport and you smell like whatever it is, the donuts or whatever it might be, and it like triggers, you know, you want that comfort food. I think that it's like, you know, especially when I was younger, it was like a treat to go out, right, and have fast food or something. So then it's like your mind is so trained, and it's such a discipline to be able to fight that. Some days I don't. Like when I flew back here the last time, I forget where I came from, Vegas or LA or something, I was like, screw it, I'm eating. And, you know, ate on the plane and did that. So I'm not super strict. But if I was going to a poker tournament, I probably wouldn't have done that. So I think that being healthy while traveling, so like drinking as much water as I can, making sure I stay hydrated. I take like a lot of vitamin C if I feel like I'm run down, or like, you know, sometimes if I'm on a flight. I know that when we did flights to, I guess like Macau, I don't know, really long haul flights, I definitely try to be better about like vitamins. I don't know, I had some like homeopathic jet lag thing that seemed to really help. So first, like diet, I don't really drink alcohol, which I think is really big. And I notice when I do drink, it really, really slows me down. So when I see people who drink regularly, I don't know how they do it and function.
Right.
I think that's really big. I definitely drink, but like try to keep it at like special occasions. Sometimes at the poker table for fun.
Right. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
That's happened. So people always laugh at me when I say I don't drink, because I will have a glass of wine. But especially not when I'm traveling. I feel like it's important to, you know, it's a lot of stress on your body, like flying alone, going through, you know, the security at the airport, whatever it is, those like x-ray machines, things like that. It's stress on your body. So doing things to try to balance that out. Like I've heard vitamin C helps with all the radiation, like counteracting all the inner radiation that you're experiencing. Yeah, the diet thing again, you know, like small eating windows, not overeating, try to keep sugar really low.
Right.
I try, personally, for me, I think that eating like as simply as I can works the best. So whether it's just like protein, veggies, I feel like my digestion and I always feel the best when I eat like not too many ingredients. So, but yeah, definitely diet is like massive for me. And then before poker, like always, especially with live poker for some reason, I really, really like to get a workout in before. And yeah, just prioritizing that, you know, like it's hard because sometimes I think, you know, let's say I fly to Barcelona and it's like, okay, well, you know, I want to feel good for the tournament, so I'm going to go to bed and wake up at 10 a.m. so I can get to the gym before the tournament. And it's like, then you have the other players who are there and like having fun,
Yeah.
going out, you know, going out and drinking and stuff. And
Yes.
it's like a poker trip for me. Like I'm going to say there's not fun, but like to me, playing poker is fun.
Right.
So, but on the social side, I'm not really having that.
Yes.
But to me, it's worth the sacrifice. But I see that, you know, sometimes I wonder if I should go the other way a little bit.
Right. Do you ever work that into your schedule? Like, okay, I'm going to take 2 days off at the end of this trip and go out with, you know, Feraldo and Ludo, for example. I have an Ask Kristen question here. When you brought up drinking, I immediately thought like Feraldo and Ludo and you know, Jake Cody and Sam Grafton. Like I just thought of that group of players that tend to go on it. So
yeah.
Do you ever do that?
Well, it's actually really funny because now when I just had a memory of playing, I think it was the World Series Europe main event, day one with Feraldo, and we were doing shots at the table and got very drunk. So I guess I try to tie poker into that. I try to be efficient.
Right.
And then it helped my table image too. I ended up bagging a lot of chips because then I just looked drunk and stupid and try to be aware of that. No, I mean, sometimes we'll try to do that, but usually it's like, oh, I want to get home for this, or I want to do that. I'm trying to do the enjoying the city thing, but it's hard. Like poker is intense. I feel like when I bust a tournament, you know, if I'm in Barcelona and I bust a tournament, the last thing I want to do is go sightseeing.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Maybe I can eat. That's the one comfort that I have when I bust a tournament. It's like, okay, if I go to a nice restaurant, I'm happy. But like, I don't know. I have a really hard time shifting my mind state. And that's kind of what I was saying before, you know, it ties back into like my whole struggle with poker is how do I, you know, stay balanced and kind of, balance the intensity of the game, right? And like being competitive in the game. So that's a struggle for me, but I'm trying. And I think the older that I'm getting, I'm starting to appreciate, you know, the time off more and trying to understand, like, you know, I have a very fortunate life and I don't need to be grinding, you know, every single day because I take very few days off. The days off I take are on the flights, things like that.
Yeah.
But it's hard, you know, me and Alex, we went on vacation and then I remember the last like 3 days of our vacation, we're like, we want to go home. We just want to play online. And we just sat in a hotel room and played online for 3 days, like in a different country. Like it's kind of sad, but in the other way, it was like, there's something nice about that. Cause it's like, well, I kind of love my life. Like I don't need a vacation from my life.
Right.
So
yeah, that's a really nice way of thinking about it. And I think in the grand scheme of like issues that you could have in poker, I think it's one of the best ones that you could have. So I think that's great.
Absolutely.
We have a few questions here from Twitter. The first one is from Feraldo, which is, who out of the Party Poker pros would you least like to be stuck in self-isolation with, and why is it Ludo?
Okay. So I don't have to answer the first question, right? It's already answered.
I mean, I guess so.
I mean, I couldn't keep up with the drinking. That would be the problem.
Right. Absolutely. That makes sense.
He would be a bad influence.
Second
So
question here from Jody John, McEdger, UK. How long do you think till we see a female player win the overall top GPI player?
I would give myself
Yeah,
no.
I know.
I
You're
would like to
seven.
think
It's
I could do
close.
it. Yeah.
It's close.
I would like to think in a couple years. Um, who knows? I mean, I hope I can. I think that if I had a year where I won a main event, there's a shot.
Right.
I'm sure that maybe in the future there'll be other people too who are up and coming. But yeah, that's tough because especially with tournaments, there's a lot of variance, and we'll see. But yeah, it's definitely a goal of mine. So
Awesome.
I will be attempting it. Yeah.
I'm excited to follow the journey. That's really
Yeah.
good. Where can people check out, like follow you in your poker career and sort of see what you're up to? Like, what's the best way to keep in touch with what's going on for you?
Probably Twitter. I should post more, but I'm not very good with that. But yeah, I would say Twitter. I'm the most active.
And you will also see her out on the party poker tables, all Power Fest, because
Yes.
I play with you all the time. I see you out there in all the tournaments. So
I'm sorry. No, I shouldn't say I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure I donated a stack to you the other day, in a bounty.
I don't remember the specific hand.
Stack. Yeah, I do remember. I think you 3-bet me from the small blind. It was a 6 max tournament. I opened under the gun with like ace queen suited or ace jack suited. I don't know. Anyways, it was a big pot. I'm pretty sure you won it.
Is there any donating in bounties though? Aren't we all aren't you just supposed to get it all in all the time?
Exactly. It's fun. Yesterday I had a lot of fun in the bounties. Yeah, it's fun if you win those first couple hands, and then you can just I was just shoving everything. It was
There's nothing like that. Kristen, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to following your journey over the next several years, and good luck with the rest of PowerFest.
Thanks. I appreciate it. You too.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kristen, for taking the time this week. Make sure you all follow along with her poker journey. #1 ranked GPI player, female player. I think she's got a shot. I'm going to set the line. 2023 is where I'm going to set the line. Now, it could be before that. It could be this year. Who knows? But 2023, I'm going to set the line as like the middle ground for her to get there because I think she's got the demeanor. Like, I don't have it. I don't have what she has to be able to compete at the level she's competing. I'd love to get there one day, but it's clear in her mindset that she is just so focused and dedicated to what she's doing. I think she can do it. I think she can hit the #1. Before I let you all go this week, we have the #JSPokerHero competition going on. So if you want to win your way into the $215 Party Poker Million, this is the best way to do it. All you got to do is tweet your answer on Twitter using the #JSPokerHero. You can tag me at Jamie Staples if you want. Tag Party Poker if you want. And if you are the closest to, you are going to win a ticket. So that's the thing. Last week's winner was Ivan Black on Twitter, Kot Prostkoy, who guessed 146 entrants. And then DO on Twitter, DO7217090. There's two winners. Two winners. Both guessed the same thing, so you both get tickets. That's a double giveaway. Congratulations, both of you. You're going to represent the podcast this week in the $215 Party Poker Million, so good luck in that event. This week's guessing competition, #JSPokerHero, is guess Kristen Bicknell's finish position before the event starts, this main event for PowerFest, which is on Sunday. It is a $320 buy-in. Guess Kristen Bicknell's finish position. The closest to is going to win a $215 Party Poker Million ticket. That's it. That's the deal. Tiebreak, first to answer. Yeah, so it's first to answer. First to answer. If it's the same, we can't be giving away 800 tickets if you all gets the same thing. So that's it for this week. Thank you all so much for taking the time and listening/watching the show. We are on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube, so you have some options. Wouldn't mind a rate and review on those platforms as well, just so that we can rank better. That would be great. But nonetheless, I just appreciate all of your time. I'm thinking about you and your families. I hope you stay safe and you have some good luck on the table and have a good time playing some poker, getting away from the real world news at the moment. So appreciate you all. But until next week, we'll see you later.